Hello, welcome back to our live South by Southwest broadcast. We're talking to Hugh Sullivan of The Infinite Man. I am so excited about this particular film, which is ridiculous because I haven't seen a trailer for it. I haven't seen anything about it. All I know about this movie right now is it's an Australian time travel comedy, which apparently someone said, what are all the boxes I can check to make Chris-Rachael happy? And this film was made. So tell me a little bit more about it, Hugh.
Great. Well, yeah, it's a time travel comedy, a bit of romance, and it's about a kind of unorthodox scientist whose attempts to create the kind of perfect romantic weekend for his partner backfire when he traps her in a strange temporal loop.
I hate it when that happens.
I know, it's never fun.
This is why I'm still single.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made the film a little while ago through the SA Film Corporation Film Lab initiative, which is they just funded a few local films, fully financed them, and yeah, so we made it as part of that. And we're just really thrilled to be premiering at South by Southwest. So it's yeah, the producers went to the festival a couple of years ago and just loved it and thought it would be the perfect place for a film like this. So we're really happy that the festival felt similarly. So yeah.
So South by Southwest is the premiere of this movie, correct?
It is. That's right. Yes. So very curious to see how it's received.
You decided, hey, let's go to Texas and show everyone my
Austin, Australia.
Australian film.
People get really confused because they both begin with an A. Is that what happened?
Well, I think Austin is the sister city of Adelaide, so
that's a good
interesting
point there.
fact.
You're just starting at the beginning of the alphabet because you just assume science fiction readers aren't going to keep going.
Yeah, because A is just the best letter ever, right?
Yeah.
What is your favorite time travel movie you've ever seen?
Other than yours.
I don't know. That's tough. Does Groundhog Day count?
I will allow Groundhog Day because technically it's time travel.
I agree. I'm with you there. Since are you actually a long-time fan of time travel and science fiction, or is this something you sort of stumbled on?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Are you a long-time fan of time travel and science fiction, or was this just a good concept to take for your romantic comedy?
Look, a bit of both, I would say. It did seem like, because we were operating with a pretty small budget, and it's, I don't know, it just was a good way to create, something that would otherwise be really quite contained suddenly becomes a lot more expansive when your characters avail themselves of time travel. And yeah, it just seemed like the best vehicle for this story and these themes that we wanted to look at. So yeah, a bit of both.
Now, have you made any other films before this?
This is my first feature film. I've made a couple of shorts, so yeah, this is my feature debut, and yeah, it's things are off to a really great start with it. So yeah, we're very happy, very happy.
How different was it to go from making short films to a feature film of this caliber for you?
Yeah, look, it is challenging. I mean, everything is obviously just that much bigger and longer as well. Just the shoot, etc. It's a lot. You're just maintaining your energy over a much greater period of time. But you're operating on a small, but it was a really small crew, and it sort of had a short film vibe to it on set. A small bunch of us just went out to Woomera, which is about 6 or 7 hours north of where I live in the desert, and yeah, we just all lived out there. We were living on location filming, so it just, I don't know, had a nice family atmosphere to it, which I think helped. It makes it, if you're having fun, it makes it that much easier, I suppose.
Now, if you by yourself happen to get trapped in some sort of horrible temporal loop, since that is a major premise of your movie, when would you want it to be? Like in our current time period, sometime in the past or future? Where would you want to get stuck for a while?
I imagine South by Southwest is a week that I'd.
You just want to relive those same 5 days of the festival over
It's
and over.
looking to be a lot of fun. So yeah.
It's the only way to make it to all the panels.
Yeah, really it is, because it's so busy. Like you say, have you personally ever come to South by Southwest?
No, I haven't. So
you'll be surprised. The first year I ever did it, it was insanely busy. Like I didn't have enough time to do everything, and that seems to be the way it is. So I guess getting stuck in a loop, like Chris-Rachael said at South by Southwest, is going to be the only way you're going to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
So do you have any future projects coming up after this?
Yeah, there's some, writing some things at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, getting back into the writing, which is great. Yeah, looking forward to the next one. Actually, could be good.
I'm
So
impressed that
it's
you were
another
actually
sort
able
of
to get a
sci-fi
government grant out in
comedy.
Australia,
thing.
because here in the U.S., everybody's kickstarting films because they just
Yeah.
can't find any money for it. What do you think are some of the differences between trying to make a small film in a country like Australia versus a small film somewhere like in the U.S.?
Look, I mean, the big difference is we have, the government in our case just financed our film entirely. So I think that's very different to, how things are in the States. So we're extremely lucky here
Heaven
to have,
forbid, supporting
to have
artists.
that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the big, the big obvious difference. And it's very extremely helpful to emerging filmmakers, when other people might not be so willing to back you in your first film, I suppose. So yeah,
I
it's
find that
nice
really
that's
interesting
supportive.
because
I'm sorry?
everyone has a reason why they want to make films. What was it the point in your life when you realized I want to make films for a living?
Look, I think everyone has these stories of they saw a certain film, etc. But I can't really say that was me. It's more
Was it
just
because
at a
you were
certain.
blinded as a child and the time travel is what allowed you to regain your sight?
I'm sorry, I think I missed the start of that question. Sorry.
Never mind, go on. I was making a bad joke.
No, I think it was more just at a certain point. It seemed like filmmaking was the best way to just combine these various interests that I had. And at a certain point, you go so far along with it that you're not really capable of doing much else. So I'm glad it's working out so far.
One of the big challenges of putting together a small film is usually finding the cast and crew that are willing to work for absolutely no money or just good intentions and the last dregs of your government grant or Kickstarter. Did you have much difficulty finding your actors, crew, equipment, things along those lines?
Look, it was a stretch. It's hard. Yeah, working at this lower end of things. I must say, certainly finding the cast and crew wasn't such a problem. We were careful to, everyone got paid properly. We were, quite keen to ensure that happened. So, so that wasn't so hard. It was more just, equipment is just sourcing. Just being able to do everything that you want to do with limited means is a challenge. But it was written very specifically to this set budget, so that made our lives a bit easier, I think.
So you've said a couple of times now that you've written it to a set budget that time travel was why you wrote it to a set budget. Can you expand on that a little bit more? Because that's not. I usually think of time travel as being something that's going to actually cost you more, not be a way to save a little bit of money.
Yeah, well, I think the main thing is. It's a cast of 3 in the film and 1 primary location. So although it is just a cast of 3, because you've got people traveling back in time, the characters start multiplying, and it feels like you're dealing with a larger cast than just 3 people. So we certainly, didn't have a visual effects budget or anything like that. So it's a kind of lo-fi approach to the genre, which I think, kind of sets it apart from a lot of other time travel films. So it kind of becomes a unique feature of it, I think. And
yeah, so time travel is one of those tricky things because there's so many different theories of time travel. Like you can't go to the past because you change it, you can't go to the future because you change it. But creating an infinite loop, time travel can be told so well done, like in Primer.
Yeah.
Like in what was the one I just watched? Safety Not Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they're
even
really,
Misfits. I really liked the kind of loop that they ended up creating in there. Another one that had a romantic time loop, creepy but romantic at the same time.
Creepy romantic
time
loop.
What was that?
So time travel is going to be really fun. Is your next project going to be kind of sci-fi, fantasy based, or are you going to go for something a little bit more serious?
There is a science fiction aspect to it. Yeah. It's we'll see. It's still kind of at an early stage, so I'm not too sure what direction it's going to take. But at the moment, yes, that will certainly be an important part of it, I think. So, yeah.
Well, Hugh, thank you for coming on with us today, and we look forward to watching The Infinite Man.
And I hope that it actually makes it into wide release here in the U.S. so the rest of you can enjoy it too.
Likewise. Thanks very much.
Good luck at South by Southwest, and I'm pretty sure we'll run into each other soon.
At least in one of the loops.
Yeah, in one of the loops we will.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.